You do have a kippah. Looks good. Because I like to wear it when at services. Because that's what we use for the service. We all have one, look. Hey y'all, hey Sarah, hi Paul. Shabbat shalom. Sarah, you're back. We were here last night. She's a swim teacher. Hi Paulie. Hey, Elliot. Good to see you. Plug in. There's a cord. Oh, do you mind grabbing that? How are you? I like your chapeau, Stan. I like your hat. That's what I need. Oh, thank you, Lisa.
Not at all. It's going to be long enough. Here we go.
There's Leslie. Hey, Neon, where are you headed next? How awesome is that? All right, Leslie's gonna get set up and everyone kind of find a spot and look around. Oh. Leslie, I have some news for you. Morris Tamsky passed away. Just, like I was with him at the hospital 2 hours ago, and they just. Cute, of course. I just did I just did Jeremy's wedding. Jeremy Glick, Brenda Faye, or Rachel's son. Should we start? Should we start? I'll ask you all. So I was starting to say, just take a look around, There's an expression that you'll hear in Lecha Dodi, part of the Kabbalat Shabbat service. The expression is Panei Shabbat. And it's a lovely expression. It literally means the faces of the Sabbath. The euphemism is the presence of Shabbat. We're greeting, part of what we're doing here as we receive Shabbat, that's why it's called a Kabbalat Shabbat service, is we're receiving the presence of Shabbat. But the literal word panei is like panim, the Yiddish word panim, panim, panei, means faces. So I sometimes, I like the euphemism, and sometimes I like the literal. In this case, I like the literal, because we are the faces of Shabbat. All of you who have gathered, anyone that's going to come in the next moments, recognizing the humanity and even the divinity in each other, that's part of our task on Shabbat. We stop. Shabbat really means to stop the busyness and to stop all the things that we usually do and look at life in a little bit of a different way and recognize holiness. And the holiness in this place comes from one another's faces. So I give you permission, and you should give yourself permission to look around and see the Panei Shabbat, the faces that are of the people that are gathered here. And also, we know there are faces we can't see that are with us as well. The folks that are watching us on the stream, they too are part of our kahal, of our holy community. They can see our faces. At least they can see Leslie and mine. We can't see theirs, but they are also, we can imagine all these people, wherever they are, whoever they are, all of us part of this community to recognize, to receive, to be cognizant of, to accept, to let into our lives this notion of Sabbath, of holiness. That's why we stop, right? That's how when we can recognize blessings and realize what the aspects of our lives are that are unique and transcendent and special and holy. And so that's part of our task as we go through the prayers and songs of the Friday night service, to really remember once again, to re-remember the parts of our lives that are blessings, and the fact that being here together is itself a blessing. So welcome all of you as we receive Shabbat together. On page 4 of the Siddur, Siddur comes from the Hebrew word meaning order. So there's an order to our prayers. Sometimes we go out of order, but we can always get drawn back to it, by the book. That's why the book is so helpful. We can go off the book for a while, but then we can come right back to it. So there's three ways that we open the Friday night service with song. Kind of ease into it. The first is a melody with no words. Right there on the top of page 4. It says nigun, and there's no words, because it's a spiritual technique of starting prayer without having to worry yet about what exactly you're saying. Just about letting go and letting your voice express what is within you. And then we move into English, a little easier for most of us than Hebrew. It's an English translation of a Hebrew passage from the book of Isaiah in the Tanakh, the prophets, the prophet Isaiah. And then we finally go into the Hebrew from the book of Psalms, Hine Matov, how it's good to be together. And that's really the sentiment of all of these, even the song with no words. The sentiment is that it's good to be together. So let's do a little singing, a little breathing, moving the molecules around a little bit to create some positivity on this Kabbalat Shabbat. Right, Nicole? You ready? Yai la la, yai la la, ya la 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 la. Yai la la, yai la la, ya la la la. Yai la la, yai la la, ya la la la. Yai la la, yai la la, yai la la, ya la la la. Yai la la, yai la la, ya la la la. Yai la la, yai la la, ya la la la. Yai la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la la. All the way through, you're sounding good. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Hi James. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya la la. La la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la. The book of Isaiah, and they shall come, to my holy mountain, and rejoice in my house of prayer. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. And they shall come to my holy mountain, and rejoice in my house of prayer. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. In the Hebrew, Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is and how pleasant when we, a group of brothers and sisters and siblings, when we sit together in peace and in harmony. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Nicely done. Take a deep breath, a nishima amukah, breathing in everything that's good and high and holy about these moments of anticipating, receiving the Sabbath, and breathing out all the schmutz, everything that's blocking you from being fully present and fully part of this Shabbat moment. And so we're going to officially begin Shabbat. We lit candles over with we had a family Shabbat service a little bit ago, and we lit candles with the kids and their parents, and now we'll light them again. And you can imagine all over the world, families and synagogues and communities lighting candles to signal the beginning of the Sabbath. I'd love it, Diane, if you'd come up. Do you mind lighting the candles? And you can certainly, Nicole, you too, for sure. Of course. Yeah. And, I know, Diane, we're both thinking about Zahava for a refuah shlema, that she, had a bad accident but is on the mend. So I want to Yeah, I would use the matches for sure.
Good.
Yeah, so you got some time. Light the candles. We're going to sing on the bottom. Everyone else at the bottom, page 4, while Nicole and Diane are lighting the candles for Shabbat. Let's sing our candle lighting song of Kavanah, of preparation for this mitzvah. Hear our prayers, we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear our prayers to you. Let us light these lights and see our way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see our way to you, and let us say Amen. And the candles are lit. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Nicole. And I think everyone can just spend a little time. You know, the candles are supposed to be of no practical use. You know, you don't read by them traditionally or write by them. They're just there to bring light, just for its own sake. So we bring that light, you know, into ourselves and make sure it goes wherever it needs to go, to all the people and places in the world that need extra light and love. I'm thinking of the Tamsky family. Just within the hour, Morris, of blessed memory, passed away, and his family, it was with him, and they're gathered around him. So I send them light. Send light to all the people and places near and far. Sending light to the people who are with us on the stream, and I know they're sending light back to us. And then, you know, it's a beautiful spiritual teaching. There's just enough to go around. As much as we spread that light around, maybe there's even more light for you, for us. So put that light into your heart and soul and feel and see the sparks within you. Everything you need to be your best self as we renew our souls on this Shabbat. And let's sing with Leslie the bracha, the blessing for receiving Shabbat, for beginning the Sabbath with the lighting of lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ruach haolam, asher kidshon b'mitzvotav, v'tzivonu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat, v'tzivonu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Man, good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Hope you can already begin to feel the blessings of peace and renewal and hope from Shabbat. So let's turn to page 8 and 9. We'll sing L'chad Odi. It's been a while. A traditional Kabbalat Shabbat song about receiving Shabbat, about union, you know, about all the twos in life, all the dichotomies in life on Shabbat blending together and weaving together to make oneness. But I also want to start with this on the very top of page 8. Page 8. Because there's a stanza from L'chad Odi that got sort of turned into its own separate piece. It's the Hit Orari stanza. Hit Orari means wake up, which is always a great thing to think about, that one of the evening prayers tells you to wake up. It's not a morning prayer. It's for Friday night. So we can always be more awake, I think, is the spiritual teaching more present. And so a wonderful rabbi named Hannah Teferes Siegel wrote this using that line that you'll hear again when we sing L'chad Odi. It's called Awaken, Arise. And we'll sing this once or twice through, and then we'll go right into L'chad Odi, which follows on pages 8 and 9, Nicole, both pages. It's such a long song. It has 2 pages. Awaken, arise to the wholeness of your being. Awaken, arise to the beauty of your soul. Awaken, arise to the wholeness of your being. Awaken, arise to the beauty of your soul. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva arech, kumi uri. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva arech, kumi uri. Awaken, arise to the wholeness of your being. Awaken, arise to the beauty of your soul. Awaken, arise to the wholeness of your being. Awaken, arise to the beauty of your soul. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva arech, kumi uri. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva arech, kumi uri. Kumi uri means arise, my light. Kumi uri. Kumi uri. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha ha. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha ha. There it is. Let's do that again. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha ha. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha. Shamo v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet, v'letechila. Hey! Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha ha. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha ha. Likrat Shabbat, v'chu v'nelcha, ki himekor habaracha, meherosh v'kedem nisucha, sof maseh v'mashvat tequila. Hey, le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha ha. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva arech, kumi uri, 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 shedaberi, kivod Adonai, alai nikla. Hey, le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, ha ha. Le'echad dodi, le'echad kal, yadadai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. And the tradition is you can stand up if you'd like. Don't face east for the moment. Face the door. That's the tradition. Face the door, the entrance to our Beit Knesset, our house of gathering. That it should be open and inviting and welcoming to all. And that the divine presence, it says, Boikala, the manifestation of everything that's beautiful and whole and lovely and blessed, is joining us in the form of time, the time that is the Sabbath, has entered this sanctuary and is part of the fabric of the moments we're here to share together. So we call to that presence. We say, Boikala, come into our lives, come into our hearts, come into our home. Bring us peace, bring us holiness, bring us hope. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola ha'toch emuneh am sigula boi kala he boi kala lecha dodi lecha kala yada 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 b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat lecha dodi lecha kala yada 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 b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat lecha dodi lecha kala yada 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 b'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. You can stay standing if you're able and turn now back to the east, the traditional direction of Jewish prayer, traditional direction of most indigenous prayer, actually, the east, direction of the sunrise, direction that symbolizes hope and renewal. That's why we face the east. And we also face one another, the same Panei Shabbat that we talked about at the very beginning. This is a time of calling one another to these sacred moments that we're privileged to share with one another, calling to the divine presence to remain with us as we go through this prayer service and connect to one another. So we'll sing the Baruch, which you can find in Hebrew on page 11. We've been singing some English words, again in preparation for the prayer, the ancient prayer. And again, it's about awakening, about being present, about feeling, making sure we know we are really not alone. We are a community, even when we're not here together. Remember what it's like to be shoulder to shoulder and connected with people on the same path, different ways, different backgrounds, but we're all on the same path. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Let's jump all the way to page 15. Prepare to say the Shema together. We've been here now singing and chanting and connecting, and so I think we've brought ourselves to a place where we can sing Shema Yisrael and all of our different voices blending together to make a chorus of unity, which is, of course, what Shema calls us to remember, our oneness. We all know about our differences, and those exist and they're important, but what undergirds and kind of emphasizes our differences is really what connects us. So take another deep breath and Nishima Amuka. Kind of breathe in the truth of that statement that we are one. Those that you know so well and those that you'll never meet. We have a thread of connection that runs through each and every one of us. And I'm glad that we're here to bring to life that notion of unity consciousness. And this verse, of course, comes right from the Torah scroll from the book of Deuteronomy, which we're going to get into in a couple of weeks as we finish the book of Numbers in our Torah journey for the year. But we couldn't wait. The tradition says we shouldn't wait for once a year for Shema to come around the Torah to let these words leave our lips. They're really ours to say and recite anytime we want. In minyan, like this, but also sometimes when you really need it and you might not have anyone around you, but you have the Shema. That reminds you that you're not alone, that we're all connected, and that we have what we need inside of us to be our best and highest and loftiest selves. So together, let's sing those words that are embedded into our hearts and our souls and our minds. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Continuing our davening on page 16 with the words of Ve'ahavta, the words that actually follow the Shema in the Torah. So it fits that they follow in the Siddur as well. And it's all about love, that first word there, Ve'ahavta. You shall love. What a commandment. Commanded to love. But it's right there. It's in our text. It's in our prayers. Commanded to love. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'derech u'shok becha uvkumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafo b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'vihisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen. Page 18. You heard the word Mitzrayim in the last kind of passage from Ve'ahavta, the word meaning the narrow place, the description in the Torah of what ancient Egypt was for us, the place of oppression where we were enslaved. But really, right inside that word Mitzrayim is the word tsar, which is narrow. And there's a great Yiddish word that many people have heard, tsuris, right? It's like, being in a narrow place is when you have tsuris, right? Worries and you're anxious and troubles is tsuris, And so we go right from Ve'ahavta Michamocha when we were at a place where the tsuris was more than you can imagine, right? The oppression that had gone on for generations, the slavery, the injustice. But right at that moment, maybe the lowest moment, came redemption. Came an escape from Mitzrayim, from the narrow place of the wide open spaces of the wilderness, of the Midbar. And so this is where we bring ourselves to that service, is knowing that whatever narrow place we're in our own lives, in our families' lives, in society's life, and there's a lot of narrowness. There's too much narrow-mindedness happening right now. We all know it. But that doesn't mean that situation can't expand. And we can't go from a narrow place to a more wide open, expansive place. And that's what we all strive for. And sometimes you really feel it. You really feel like there's a change coming, right? And so let this be one of those times where we change from injustice to justice and from slavery to liberation and from all of the tsuris of the world turning into something bright and beautiful and hopeful and inclusive, leaving nobody behind. That's the goal. That's getting out of the narrow place. So let's sing our way, at least for now, out of this, whatever narrow place we might be in, so that when we go out into the world, we can help ourselves and others be more liberated, be more free, singing songs of freedom in our hearts and souls and minds. Yai lai 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 ya lai la lai yai lai 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 ya lai la lai yai lai 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 ya lai la lai ya lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai yai lai 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 ya la lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai lai mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha neder b'kodesh norat hilot osei fele osei fele yai lai lai yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai lai yayim loch le olam va'ed yayim loch le olam va'ed yayim loch le olam va'ed le olam va'ed yai lai lai yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai yai lai 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 yai lai yai lai lai lai. Page 20. Another redemption prayer. These days you can't have too many of those. The promise of something better, that the blessings increase and those challenges decrease, that the good things, the good aspects, the good values and qualities and experiences remain with us, and we figure out a way to really make the world a better place in the areas where it's broken. And I think we could all come up with our list of brokenness. And brokenness in some ways is part and parcel of this Torah portion. not just in its story, but in its very writing, in the way the Torah is written down. In this passage, in this portion of Pinchas, there is the word shalom, which appears many, many times, of course, in the Torah, in the prayers, in our tradition. And it appears in this portion as well. But if I was to open a Torah right now and show you that shalom in the scroll, and if you looked at it very carefully, you would notice something different about it. One of the letters in the word shalom is a vav. And a vav is a straight line. Just a straight line up and down. Some of you are students of Hebrew and can picture a vav. In the way the scribes, the sofers, are supposed to write the shalom in this portion, the vav has a break in it. There's a little bit of a split in the vav. You have to look really close, but it's there in every Torah scroll, in every Sefer Torah. The shalom in the passage talks about a brit shalom, a covenant of peace. And you got to read the portion, and I'm not going to get into all the details, but the covenant of peace was given to someone who, it's shocking, received that covenant of peace. The person who did something that is almost the very opposite of peaceful in the way we think and feel and see things. But yet the Torah says they received a brit shalom, a covenant of peace. But the broken vav tells us that there's never a time that we know of when everything is right and whole and just and perfect. Even in our most perfect moments, we realize there's brokenness, and that encourages us, inspires us to do something about it. The broken vav says, don't rest on your laurels. Don't assume because something is okay right now, it's going to be okay tomorrow. Don't assume because you've achieved a liberation, a cause to celebrate, that there isn't going to be more work when you wake up in the morning. My friend James knows that. There's always good work to be done. So that doesn't mean that we dwell in despondency. It means we breathe in the wholeness that we feel, and then we get back to work to fix what's still broken. And that vav might never be repaired. There might never be a full vav in that word shalom, in the brit shalom. But that doesn't stop us from trying. And it doesn't stop us from having victories along the way. And in the moments that your shalom is broken, when you're sad and lonely and hurting, feeling bereft, I encourage you to know that you are not alone and that we are all working together to make a difference, to do healing, to bring a little bit more wholeness to that broken vav. And I hope through the songs and prayers and being together as we receive this Shabbat, that we go a distance in repairing that vav, and making it a little bit more whole for ourselves and for others. So let's sing. Let's do what we can to heal the brokenness of right now, to remind us that that is one of our tasks, to make that shalom, that peace, that wholeness as repaired as it possibly can be through our words and actions and lives and loves and connections and desires, hopes and dreams. Take this, living in my skin and bones. Take this and let it sing. Yahweh, Yahweh, always pain before a child is born. Yahweh, Yahweh, it's always dark before the dawn. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Allow us to lie and rise in peace with shalom. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Sing it out. Shalom. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 Ufros aleinu sukkot. Sukkot shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, and cover over us tonight with a sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace for you, for those you love, a shelter of peace, a vision of peace, moments of peace over all creation, leaving nobody behind, everyone and everything touched by peace, everyone and everything working to heal and to repair that broken vow, to fix the brokenness, to create peace for shalom. We're on page 23. If you're able, please stand again. It's our custom on Friday nights to go through this next section of prayers that is literally called tefillah, prayer itself. So we kind of leave room in this section for your own prayers to stay on the book or go off the book and kind of bring to your heart and mind your deepest yearnings and your holiest prayers for yourself and for the world. So we begin together with our voices united in this opening, this psalm of opening, which opens the rest of the prayers. Kind of try even harder to open our hearts and open our minds and keep our souls open and let our mouths be open so that words of kindness and graciousness and healing can be easily fall from our lips, trying to decrease the other kind of words, the words of divisiveness and callousness, and the voices that we have that aren't filled with compassion. This is a time to take our mouths, as the prayer says, and make sure that we use that tool, our tool of speech, to be sure that we spread love. So that's the psalm of opening, and then we have some moments of silent prayer, of your own reflections and meditations that you want to offer on this Shabbat, and then we'll all sit down and sing another prayer for peace, because you can't have enough prayers for shalom, especially in this Shabbat where we chant the portion with the broken vav of shalom, trying to make more peace wherever and however we can. So this says, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagit Tehilatecha. We open our arms and our hearts to this moment and to each other this way. Sifatai Tiftach. Yai lai 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 ufi agid ufi agid tehilatecha. Yai lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 sifatai tiftach. Yai lai 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 ufi agid tehilatecha. Ay la 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 Adonai. Ay la 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 sifatai tiftach. Ay la 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 ufi agid tehilatecha. Ay la 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 Adonai. Ay la 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 sifatai tiftach. Ay la 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 ufi agid tehilatecha. Ay la 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 Adonai. Ay la 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 sifatai tiftach. Ay la 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 ufi agid tehilatecha. 31. I felt your prayers. Sometimes that's all you need is to be really still, you know? Reb Zalman has this amazing phrase, Reb Zalman of blessed memory. He used to say, we can engage sometimes in socialized meditation. A play, of course, on socialized medicine or socialized medication. But socialized meditation are those moments like we just had where you kind of are off on your own, you know, in your own prayer space, your own meditation place. But you're also, you know, you're in community, you know. So there's this sort of dual spirituality at work, alone and together. So on page 31, we have a place for another peace prayer. There's shalom prayer. This one is Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The way we should build the world is what the prayer says. And the word is Chesed. Stands for all the good things we want to put into life. Of course, peace, but also compassion and love and justice. Joy. If we were to build the world from scratch, you know, what would we leave in and what would we leave out and what would we put in? That's kind of the essence of this prayer. And while we can't build the world from scratch, we can keep on rebuilding the world the way we know it should be, it ought to be. And so besides peace, this prayer is also a call to action. And in fact, it's used in action places. This is one of those Hebrew songs that has been taken by Jewish activists into the public sphere. And there's been protests, you know, the one I think of the most immediately is against deportation and cruel treatments of immigrants. And there was a whole multi-faith group of people who were protesting rather cruel policy a number of years back. And they were singing, and the Jewish activists introduced this song, this prayer, to this circle of people from all kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of traditions. And there is a wonderful video of this really diverse group of people all singing what we're about to sing together, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Let's build this world from chesed, from everything that's good, that we know can transform the world and therefore transform ourselves. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadadai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, yadadai. Then God will build this world from love. Yadai, 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 yadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, yadai, yadai, yadai. Olam Chesed Yivane. Yada dai dai dai, yada dai dai, yada dai dai. Olam Chesed Yivane. Yada dai dai dai, yada dai dai, yada dai dai. Olam Chesed Yivane. Yada dai dai dai, yada dai dai, yada dai dai. Olam Chesed Yivane. Yada dai dai dai, yada dai dai. Amen. Yes. Go ahead. Sure. How about request? Sure. We'll do that as like kind of an addendum of sorts, a postscript. I think that's a great idea. So, Leslie, what page we want to go to here? Part of the Amidah, or the Tefillah, is the prayer that Lisa was talking about, also called Avodah, the word for service. Another bottom line. We got a bunch of bottom lines here in the tradition. Serving, to serve one another, to serve God, to serve the universe. That is the essence of Ritzeh. Page 28. Got it, Leslie? It'll be good practice for tomorrow.
So you gonna sing with me? So I'll sing it lower than I normally sing it, so you can all sing along. Retzeh, 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 Adonai Eloheinu, Be'amcha Yisrael, U'tefilatam, Be'ava tekabel, U'tehi lerazon tamid, U'tehi lerazon tamid, Avodat Yisrael Amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamachazir Shechinato Letzion, Hamachazir Shechinato Letzion, Zion.
Amen. Good? Yeah. For sure. So I'd like to read a few announcements, things that are happening in the community at the synagogue, and then we'll kind of make space for Kaddish, for remembrance of those people that we are mourning and thinking about. But I would want to remind everyone that we do have a Shabbat morning service if you want to come on back or watch on the stream, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then there's a few Friday night things coming up for a Friday night crowd. Next Friday, the first Friday of August, I believe, yeah. Corinne Kane will be going to the mikvah on Tuesday, and on Friday we'll celebrate her conversion and hand her the Torah, and she has prepared a really lovely talk about her journey. So that's Corinne. And then I believe the very next Friday is Terry, is that right? Yeah, the very next Friday, so 2 weeks from today, Terry Moses, who has been part of the CRC family and his Jewish family for a very long time, decided that it was time for him to make it official and become part of the Jewish people. And he will be giving his Devar Torah and we'll be celebrating his conversion. So we have two in a row Friday nights that besides the davening and the singing that we do together and community building, we'll also have some celebrating to do. So invite you to come on back the next couple of Fridays for that. Do you have an announcement, Nicole? Okay.
One of the songs you said at the end, it said my middle name or me.
You're right. Because you know what it means? It means light. You have light all around you, Nicole. You really do. You live up to your name. Get out of here. When's your birthday, Nicole?
August 19th,
It is?
2018. No,
Yeah, that's what.
it's just August 19th.
How old are you going to be?
6.
Wow. Should we sing you an early happy birthday? No? How about out there when we do the challah? We'll sing happy birthday. Let's see, a few more announcements. This is a really neat program. On Saturday, August 10th, so a couple of weeks from now, from 12 to 2:30, there's a challah take and bake workshop. Learn to create challah at our take and bake workshop with experienced commercial challah baker and CRC member Mitch Furman. Did you have Mitch for Hebrew school, you guys? Neon and Lisa, did you guys have Mitch? Yeah. Mitch is a challah baker. He will share his recipe, his process, and his insights. You can register on the CRC website and the newsletter for the challah workshop on August 10th. And so the main announcements, unless anyone has a CRC related announcement, go for it, Paul.
This coming Tuesday, as usual, a monthly Holy Ground meeting.
Ah,
And with Mr. Page here leading it, it's great. It starts at 4 at the library, and we're hoping to get a lot of folks.
great.
We're going to be planning our fall and semi-winter meetings.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, James. Holy Ground Collaborative, been around for a good long time, bringing together the various congregations of this neighborhood, CRC, and a number of churches that are right close to us, who have we've become family with each other because of Holy Ground. So thanks for that, 4 o'clock on Tuesday. And that reminds me, by the way, we've been involved in this voting initiative. Just get out the vote. Just encouraging people to take that social responsibility of getting involved. You know, there's a primary coming up. You could start. I was supposed to vote today, and I got diverted. But there's early voting going on. And did you vote, Lisa? Lisa and Stan voted. Yasher Koach. What I wanted to say is, there's through St. Louis Votes next Saturday. If you live in the city of St. Louis, a group of people who are city residents are going to walk from services at noon to the library on Euclid, where there's a polling place, and everyone's going to vote together, right? So that's kind of a neat little thing. So, no, a week from Saturday, a week from tomorrow. The primary's on the 6th, right? The following Tuesday after that. But if you're a city resident, which I know you are, Elliot, come to services, or, meet them at noon. They're going to walk all together and have a little camaraderie, solidarity, and then do the civic duty of voting. So those are the announcements I want to give, and I'm glad that everyone's here together. We are going to now have our moments of Kaddish. So if you're here to remember a loved one, whether this is the yard site of the death of a person that you're remembering, or whether you're in your year of mourning, I invite you to stand, and we'll hear the names of who you're remembering, and we'll recognize you as a mourner. And we'll start with Elliot. Yeah, we've been reading her name week after week, Elliot, and glad that you're here with us to say her name. May her memory be a blessing. Yes? My grandmother died 10 years ago. Oh, on her 10th yard site. What was her name?
Well, her first name was Gertrude.
Okay,
She didn't like it, so we weren't allowed to call her that.
fair.
And my mother was told, I think only half jokingly, that her place in the will would be in danger if she named one of us Gertrude.
No Gert, okay. Okay, so what did you call her?
But, she didn't like it very much, so she was Grandma Ma.
Grandma Ma?
Grandma Ma,
Grandma,
which was her last name.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm so glad you're here to talk about her and to say Kaddish for her. Thank you. Yes, David. For Toby. Even when it's not Toby's yahrzeit, I do feel her presence when I'm with you. And you want to say a word about Toby?
Well, the way I've introduced myself in a lot of CRC situations is that we were involved in CRC and limited way from the very beginning. She was such a raging atheist that we didn't do much for many years other than her favorite thing was singing in the choir and
Yeah.
the Passover Seder, and I've come to be more in the services in her house.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. May her memory be a blessing and live through you and everyone whose life she touched. Toby Newberger, Zikrona Livracha. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Oh,
say
did you?
Ritzay.
So Ritzay, which Lisa
That's her song.
requested, Sarah and Leslie from the choir remembered that was the
Toby's
song that was Toby's song.
That was Toby.
So like, how did that happen? That because of Lisa, we sang Ritzay, and it's Toby's. Beautiful. So, wow. I'm glad we sang it for so many reasons. Wow. Very special. From Michael in the chat.
I have one.
Okay. Go ahead, Leslie.
I was at the art museum at a concert before I came here, and I ran into my friend Sharon Poe, who told me her husband Mark had just died. So for Mark,
Sorry for your loss.
he was a singer too.
Michael, are there names from the chat?
Yes, we're remembering Ruth Rosenberg, Suzanne Mondello, Joan Butcher, Janice Garbayo, Roxanne Holloway, Jerry Livingston, Yaakov Ben Natanal, Judith and Avi Sasson, Charlie, Kimmy, and baby Benicio, and Mark Hustler.
May all of their memories be a blessing. And to those that have typed in those names, we're thinking about you as mourners. Now I'm going to ask everyone that is able to please stand with our mourners. Go ahead, Lisa. Yeah. We remember her. Yeah, I just saw that that Vice President Harris called her family today. Yeah. We remember her. May her life inspire us to be better. Also remembering the yard site this weekend of a number of people who CRC members are remembering and are connected to, including Jerry Brown and George Brown and Rhea Davison, who was Daniel's mother and Cheryl's mother-in-law. Sarah Ezekiel and Sidney Lust. I remember I saw Sidney just days before he died. That's Sarah's father. Elliot Gramich and Mindel Padower. Carol Zimbralt, my people. Carol Zimbralt, speaking about holy ground, James, I think she was maybe a little before you. I don't even know if Paul, did you know Carol? Carol is really the founder of Holy Ground. She encouraged me to meet with the ministers of the neighborhood and create an organization. She was a really amazing activist. She lived right up the street. She was a Central West End resident. Alan Bateman, that's Avi's grandfather. Bernice Kamen, Murray Rubenstein. Owen Cantor and Freda Merlin Maziar. And there, David is Toby's name on our list of yard sites. Toby Newberger, of blessed memory. Charlene Schneider and Bernadine Solina. Daniel Staten and Morton Ornstein, the first yard site for Joy's brother. Also this weekend, Martin Caldoni, Naomi Taub and Rebecca Krumholtz, Saul Feinberg and Shirley Sherman, and as I think was read on the stream, Susanna Mondello, first yard site, a friend of Gail's. Roger Goldman's yard site is coming up, and I know Stephanie will be here tomorrow to say Kaddish for Roger, the founder of CRC, his first yard site. For Friedel Helga Uschitel, Elliot Ushatel's wife, who was also the daughter-in-law of Susan and Ben. Francis Ward, Janet's father, and Bernard Edelstein, Sylvia Nissenbaum's father. Stanley Zerman and Beth Ehrlich, and Robert Sugarman, Lena Voda, and Betty Davis. And then our recent losses, and I'm still kind of in shock, even though he was 96 years old. Morris Tamsky, who was a member of CRC and a friend, and I just officiated his grandson's wedding 2 months ago, and Morris was there at the wedding, and he just died like 2 hours ago. So I'll probably leave to be with his family right after the service. We're also remembering Michael McCauley and Edwin Pepper, and Penelope Moglin, and Muriel Hartz, and Marilyn Schreier, Leanie's mother. Kenan Thimangu, Ivan Rich and Ron Kramer, Stuart Rosenberg and Lawrence Weinberg, Dr. Eduardo Sotopolsky and Eleanor Simpson, and Gary Sewell, wonderful Gary Sewell. I was just with Ellen the other day. Ann Lee Frank and Dana Engelhart and Rhonda Banford, another great social activist in our congregation. Ralph Wafer, our member and neighbor. Arthur Levine, Eileen Ehrlich, Ellen Jean Vickery, and Rick Isserman, who was a Holy Ground activist and chair and friends with James and Paul and many people in this congregation. We miss Rick very much. Myra Levine, Scott's mother, and Gina Rotman, a member of CRC and Mitch's wife. Yakir Hexter, Chris and Shelley's grandson, who died an Israeli soldier. Rose Waldman, Sterling's grandma. And there's Carol Liebson, Elliot's mom, and Neon's grandma. Miriam Weintraub and Barry Friedman. Dennis Epstein and Kathy James. My buddy Jeff Jappa, a member of CRC and father of 4 boys who was killed in a tragic car accident. Sam Bernstein and Marlene Eisenstein, Mariah's aunt, coming up on her yard site. And then the 4 people who we've been saying Kaddish for all year, whose yard site is this weekend. I'll say their names again: Roger Goldman and Saul Feinberg and Susanna Mondello and Morton Ornstein. May all of their memories be a blessing. All the people we've named, all the people who've died because of violence and hatred and wars. There are deaths that we have no control over, and there are deaths that if we made the world a better place, there would be less of them in that way. So we open our hearts as big as we can to remember our loved ones, to comfort our mourners, and to make sure that the memories of all those who we've named and all those who we've loved and lost, that their memories are an eternal blessing. On pages 41 and 42, we say Kaddish for them, heart and soul. Yit kadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba be'alma divra kirotei v'yamlich malchutei v'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agalav v'zman kari ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit chomam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit haleh v'yit halal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimroma hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al
Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Zichronam Livracha, may all of their memories be an eternal blessing. And let us say one more time, Amen. So we go back from our sadness to that Shabbat joy that is woven into Shabbat. We give each other a blessing, and then I'll lead us out with my guitar and another nigun, a melody, and we'll gather together, those that can, in the Oneg room, where you can grab a cup of juice, and we'll make kiddush and have some challah, and there's some other snacks and treats more treats for you, and we'll sing happy birthday to Nicole for her upcoming birthday. But you guys are exactly right. Before we do all of that, we put our arms around each other. We look again at the Pnei Shabbat, the people we have brought. Look at it, the sun has set. It is definitely Shabbos. And so we together receive that Shabbat, and I hope that the peace of Shabbat will be with you for all of the Sabbath and beyond. So let's give each other this blessing from the Torah scroll, another one that we couldn't just let sit in the Torah. We needed to make sure it was part of our prayer practice, because it's a prayer, another prayer for peace. We say, Yivrachecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you now and always. Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine down upon you and always be kind and loving and warm and gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may we all be granted with that gift of peace, and may we have moments where it just feels like it's not broken at all. It's just pure peace and pure goodness. And may we take that feeling and go out and spread it wherever we can to bring more peace and more goodness and more love and more shalom wherever we go, so that soon, God willing soon, there'll be more peace, more shalom through all creation, starting now on this Shabbat that we filled with shalom. Let's say amen. Good job. And Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you, Leslie. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, you all. Love to be with you.